You said that the road to happiness was long and winding. You said that the forest would get dark, and that the ground could shift here up on this hill we're climbing. No matter how close we get, we're still so far. But I trust we'll find the clearing. I'm trusting the trail. No matter what we're feeling, there's one way we can't fail. Let's just keep hiking. Let's plant our feet. Let's just keep hiking. Keep hiking with me. Hold my hand, baby. Keep hiking with me. You said the road up to success was an impossible test unless we had some sort of map. And I could feel it in my chest just as our feet begged us to rest. I think this just might be the end of that. But I said I trust we'll find the clearing. I'm trusting the trail. No matter what we're feeling, there's one way we can't fail. Let's just keep hiking. Let's plant our feet. Let's just keep hiking. Keep hiking with me. Hold my hand, baby. Keep hiking with me.
All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this very interesting planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live here on the Intuitive Prospector page. How are you doing, my friends? How is the world treating you? How is your journey, both in the spiritual pathways and the physical pathways, and even in the metaphysical pathways? So my name is Marc Lainhart. You may know me as the Intuitive Prospector, where I work with people from around the world to challenge status quo, to challenge our mindset, to prospect for the caves that we fear that do usually hold the treasures we seek, including the diamond within, and including the many diamonds that are all around us, both what is seen and what is unseen. So today, it's Friday, so happy Friday. Let me get over to the Facebook page here. If you want to learn more about what I'm doing here on the journey, you can go to marclainhart.com, or you can just internet search The Intuitive Prospector, and you can find me through that channel, or you can find me through several articles, publications, my podcast, Inspired Living. You can get that wherever you find and listen to your favorite podcast shows. Let's see here. Where are we? Okay, let me get over to the page here. Good morning to my team. Just as a reminder, as we're broadcasting here, we just ask that you keep your comments, keep them with kindness and compassion, and don't come in and be a spammer, don't be a troll, don't be a bot. because there are moderators that are watching the comments, and you won't get warned. You'll actually get reported and banned from the community. So the best thing is just to not do that. It's like I get spam calls all the time on my phone, and it's like it'll come up as telemarketer, and of course I don't take the call, I block the call and delete it. And that's kind of where we're at, because I really try to use my social media today, because I always say social media is shit, so maybe go read more books. Here's one book that you might want to read: Between Worlds: Reflections, that I contributed to this last year. Because I try to keep my platforms positive, whether it's here on Facebook Live, my YouTube channel, which my show will be airing here in about an hour. If you've not checked out the YouTube channel, check that out. All the links are at marclainhart.com. Instagram, TikTok, X. I'm not on X as much, any Twitter anymore. Pretty much just Facebook Live and YouTube, and a little bit of Instagram are my platforms today. So how are you doing? How's the journey? I know there's a lot going on. I have podcasted about starting all the way back in 2018 into 2019 that our Roaring 20s would be quite transformative. That would be quite chaotic, and we're seeing that all around the globe, not just here in the United States, but in Europe, in Asia. We're just seeing just a lot of changes and turbulence and transformations and wars and uncertainties. And the best thing that I was going to talk about something different today, and then of course I have a conversation with my own counselor, who is an awesome dude, very spiritual, but has a psychology degree and background, and works with mental health. And I've worked with him for several years. So if you're ever interested, let me know. He does a lot of online, the quantum aspect, now that we're in the digital transformation of connecting and working with people in a digital way. And we got to talking because this week has been, a very challenging week for myself. And we got to talk, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to use this as the content for my show. So today's going to be don't deny the triggers. It's important, and I'll talk through this. But make sure that you're subscribing, liking the page, sharing out, contributing, because when I get to my readings here in a little bit, I'm looking for my Patreon prospectors, which is the subscribing aspects of what I do now, or my Diamonds Hub. If you want to be a Diamonds Hub subscriber, that's $4.99 a month. And when I get to my reading section of the show, that's what I'm looking for: badges that are people that have been followers of the work, Patreon prospectors who I already know, or the Diamonds Hub subscribers. I'll know who you are, and that it gives you the priority to kind of jump in front of the queue and get up into the line to ask me questions. Whether it doesn't have to be of the psychic, it could be just a Q&A. You can come into the Zoom room. I'll have one of my team members or myself post the Zoom link if you want, and have a conversation. I'll also give you my business line if you want to call me and ask. It's completely fine. It's live. And then just a reminder, the first Fridays of every month, if you are a subscriber for Patreon and or Diamonds Hub, we have the first Friday, which are called Diamonds Days, where you can actually come in the morning or the afternoon. There are 2 Zoom sessions. You won't get them here through Facebook. It's only in the closed group pages. But those links are available if you want to come in and have a session, 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how many people are sitting in the waiting room. And again, it could be for healing. It could be for meditation. It could be for psychic. It can be for mediumship as well. Mediumship is just a reminder that there's a connection that needs to take place with you and your voice. And seeing and hearing your voice is very beneficial. That there's a triangle that takes place: the medium, the sitter, the spirit world. And so a lot of times people come in just to say, are you aware of my loved one? And I may be, I may not be. I always remind people I work for them. They do not work for me, but always willing to prospect, always willing to give it a go to see what unfolds. And it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I'm also back doing divine services through the SNU and the SNUI. So happy to be doing that. And a couple of independent spiritual churches. So happy to be back. But this week has been tough because I'm healing physically, but I've gone through so much in the last 10 months from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint, to an emotional standpoint, and including a complete change in my career. I'm semi-retired now. My federal career after 23 years came to an end sooner than I thought, based on my medical conditions. But I'm also working through a big legal process, a very legal, expensive process based on discrimination. And that's been really hard because it's like reliving. And as we were talking, it was really about don't deny your triggers because it triggers you. There are certain things in our life, whether it's a relationship, a career, your own journey, your own convictions, your own self-sabotages, whatever that may be, they can be triggers. And triggers can lead to other things: depression, PTSD, anxiety, doubt, suicidal thoughts, suicide itself, right? We see people, I just saw somebody that I followed that committed suicide, and that was hard to watch. But if you deny your triggers, all you're doing is growing this cancer within inside you. And so as I was talking to my own spiritual counselor, because I've been doing a lot of work on myself over the years, a lot of the soul work, and we discussed that. And I thought today that somebody out there, whether you're getting it here live on Facebook or you get it later over on my YouTube channel, somebody needs to hear this. And so I want to read through some things to help you. And it's just a reminder, just because we don't see it here does not mean it doesn't exist. There are things that are seen here that are not seen here. And I'll give you 3 aspects right now that are not hypothesis or theory. Gravity. You go jump off a diving board into hopefully a filled up pool in the nice summer days. You're going to land in the water. We call that gravity. And that goes all the way back to Newton, when the apple fell off the tree and hit him in the head. But there was controversies based on that theory and hypothesis. Is gravity real? Well, I would hope so, because otherwise space teaches us that we'd probably be floating around not getting anything done, right? Gravity, the wind. We see the effects of the wind. When the tree is moving, as I look outside my studio, I got a huge tree that is a home to raccoons, to bald eagles. I mean, I call him Big Zen. He's literally the tree itself is probably at least 150 years old, if not older. And I call that Big Zen. And I look out, it's always a constant reminder that we see the effects of the wind moving the tree, but we don't see the actual wind with our eyes. So gravity, wind. Last one that you're watching right now and you're doing, not even thinking about it, the power of breath. That's why I have this tattooed now as a reminder to me to just breathe, because we know that we have to take breath in unseen for the physical matter incarnate reaction to take place, and then we exhale carbon dioxide. And it's nature, it's trees, it's water, it's the oceans that are the filters exchange that allows us to be present in this moment. So don't deny your triggers is what's today's message is on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Live. So I want to just give some shout outs to you. Got a lot of people tuning in, so good to see you all. Good morning, Victoria. Good morning to my mom. Hi, Mom. Good morning to Mila. Good morning to Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. Excellent hypnotherapist. I worked with her and she helped me a lot in my journey. Holly, good morning. Hi, Iris. Wendy, good to see you, my friend. How are you? Caroline, are you still here, or did you go back across the pond to the UK? Good morning, Barbara. Good to see you. Carlos, good morning to you, my friend. Good to see you. Maureen, Debbie. Yes, happy Friday to you, Lisa, as well. Thanks for being here and thanks for tuning in. So I appreciate all of you. And again, make sure to contribute, share. We'll get to readings here in just a little bit. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your protein shake, grab your water bottle. And let's just have a community of conversation for healing and awareness and knowledge and wisdom and transformation. That's what I try to do on my Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Would depend on what time zone you're in, because we have people tuning in from all around the world. But I try to be on here on Fridays as just a way to give back, as a way to inspire, as a way to use social media for positivity and to put a vibrational, inspirational energy out that people can be like, hey, I need a message from Marc on Fridays. That's why I've been doing this for a couple of seasons now, including Inspired Living, my podcast. Now, there won't be a show this Wednesday. We had scheduled a guest, but we had some scheduling conflicts with Om Time. So we're going to have to reschedule that. So there'll be an encore show this Wednesday. We'll probably have 3 shows in August because of the rescheduling, but just want to give you a heads up. But there's 8 seasons of Inspired Living with, again, just messages and conversations and interviews with some very well-known people and some really interesting, inspiring topics that, get you to think outside the box, get you to not be in that group thing, get you to be out of that herd of sheep and not be a sheeple and start prospecting for what's right for your journey. I always like to say my shows, my content, my information, just working with me, I just lay things out like a spiritual buffet, a spiritual smorgasbord, and you pick and choose. And we can always pick and choose through free will and choice, and we can always be kind, caring and compassionate with what we do. We don't have to disrespect. And I've seen a lot of that over the years in social media. And as we evolve and grow through our social media, people are much different behind a keyboard than they are when they're interacting in the real time, real space. And so I just remind people that what I lay out, you can pick and choose what you agree with or what you want, and you can pick and choose what you disagree with, but we can always agree to disagree, right? We can always have that civility and mutual respect for one another with ethics and values and morals. And we've seen a lot of that lost in today's society. And I believe through the news cycles, through the social media channels, that has created this sickness, this tumor of growth of negativity and divide. And I personally, from what I see in the future, I see this great coming together. I see a much different future than what we are living in right now. But it's just, just treat people with respect and choose. Like if you go into the buffet, you're not going to argue with the broccoli because you don't like the broccoli. I meant you could. I guess it'd be fun to watch you arguing with broccoli or cauliflower. And that's what I do. I lay out just different concepts, my experiences. Again, my experiences don't make them your experiences. You have to go experience them for yourself. But I've experienced a lot in my spiritual pathways that opened up over 2 decades ago. And I've done a lot of interactions and a lot of interviews and a lot of podcasts and a lot of articles that talk about who we are, from the pineal gland to the brain to the heart to our auric field to the energy. So these experiences that I lay out is for you to choose and pick what you want and what you resonate with and what you don't resonate. I don't expect you to resonate with everything I say, and that's okay. But it's about prospecting. As Joseph Campbell reminds us, the cave we fear usually holds the treasure we seek. The diamond within, the many diamonds that are all around in our society. And again, things that are seen and things that are unseen. So good morning to Carrie. Good morning to Jennifer. Good day to you, Carrie. Thanks for being here. So today's message is about don't deny the triggers of life. And here's why. These are lessons, and life is an acronym that I've broken down over the years. That means learn it from experience. Now, some lessons are great, some lessons are not. Like I said, I have gone through this last year of a lot of life lessons and a lot of big life changes, including my physical surgery that was life-changing, that ended my career, and then started a legal journey that I had not chosen to do. This was brought to me. So these lessons, we have through free will and choice, we decide how we want to react or not react, and we have to pick our battles, right? But these, I was triggered this week because I'm filling out all these affidavits and rebuttals and, it's a legal process that I've not ever been involved with. I've never even had to hire a lawyer in my entire life, but this process that very negative and toxic and hostile and just unkind has to be stood up to, even if there's no resolution except for the truth and transparency. And again, I can understand why people don't trust the government, and I can see why people hate the government. I was in the federal government for 23 years. I am not a part of that, and I will be an advocate to stand up against it for the things, the ongoings that are taking place, because I witnessed it and saw it for years. And so these triggers really can trigger, like I said, if you have a history of anything like PTSD or anxiety or depression or suicidal, thoughts, you have to be mindful of that, because these triggers can lead you down a very dark path. But you got to remember that if you can change your focus determines your reality. And, don't deny your triggers, accept them, because they're life lessons. And through these lessons, they can bring forth gifts of transformation, gifts of ascension, gifts of the alchemy of who you are. Remember, when we're born, we have a very low vibration when we incarnate into the physical matter of who we are. As babies, we're pretty much just eating, pooping, and sleeping, right? Very low vibration. But through our experiences and through aging and through growth and through education and wisdom and knowledge, our vibrations increase. And through that increase of vibrations, we have access to different phenomena, right? And your energy, if my energy in my heart was to speed up to a faster rate, I would actually disappear. So if you think about, if there are higher intelligent frequencies and energies all around us, we just don't see them because they're vibrating at a different frequency. Carl Sagan always talked about the future of medicine would be based on vibrations, frequency, and music. That's very interesting to me, right? So don't deny your triggers. Allow them to be lessons and allow them to be gifts, life lessons. Learn it from experience. That's why you're here. And somebody needed to hear that today. You usually have the reactions before the thoughts kick in, and then the thoughts take us down the rabbit hole, right? In Alice in Wonderland, when she was talking to was it the caterpillar? And she said, how far does the hole go? And he said, how far do you want it to go, right? So our reactions a lot of time can be like, oh, I'm reacting to that. And try to just practice the pause. When you are triggered, like I was this week filling out rebuttals to affidavits, I would be triggered because there was a lot of questions. There was over 90 questions through 4 people, and I'm being triggered and reliving the trauma of what I went through the last 10 months before I medicaled out of the federal government. Semi-retired now, so I guess that's kind of cool. But reliving that, and so I had reactions, and then of course the thoughts kick in. So the best way to not deny your triggers is when you have that reaction, go, okay, practice the pause, take a nice deep breath in, and say, what is this teaching me? Is this happening for me, or is this happening to me? Is it happening for me to empower me, or is it happening to me to become a victim of my situation? Right? So what's this about for me? Right? And we were talking about this in group on Wednesday. I have my spiritual development group, SDG, amazing tribe members all around the United States, Canada, and the UK. And we were talking about our energy and how we can absorb different reactions and different experiences based on is our boundaries closed? Is our auric field closed? Is our energy closed off? Because there are people in life that are energy vampires that will take and suck things from you. And it's like, you have to ask yourself, am I feeling this way, or is something or someone making me feel this way? And I'm giving my power away. I'm like literally like no boundaries, no protection, giving my energy away to somebody that doesn't even, I hardly know, or somebody that I don't know personally or I work for. So I'm going to let 2 minutes of knowing somebody, let them take all my power away. No, protect yourself, ground yourself, breathe, and try to observe the situation versus absorb it. And I say that because I've done it many times, right? That's the experience I'm sharing with you today. So what is this about for me? And is something or someone making me feel this way, or am I feeling this way? And that's okay, right? So, what's true for you in this experience? And this is what, my counselor was asking me. He's like, what is true for you? And I was like, damn, that's a diamond. That's a great, yeah, what is true for me, right? And really it's about bringing truth and transparency and holding people accountable and responsible in a government system that really doesn't have a lot of accountability. I worked in an oversight agency, so without union representation, this agency can pretty much do whatever they want as oversight, and there's no oversight to them, right? Inspector General office, and there's a lot of Inspector General offices in many different organizations within the federal government. But it's like, who's holding them accountable? And bad behavior takes place because there's humans involved, right? So what is the truth? That's what's true for you. And you can, when you're engaging with these energies, that's what I would call them, energies and vibrations and frequencies, talk to them as a part of your trigger. Don't deny the trigger, accept the trigger, because if you deny it, the growth of, that cancerous growth begins within you. But if you acknowledge it, and as Buddha reminds us, you need to let that shit go, then move it and address it and say, okay, energies, I recognize these energies and I let go. Just go. I recognize that this was a trigger for me this week, and I acknowledge it, and I'm letting it go. I'm following that advice because I don't want to hold on to that. I don't want, I've done so much work to heal on the physical level. I've lost almost 50 pounds. My surgery, I just met with my surgeon yesterday. I'm healing. I'm going to be back to full activities, hopefully by September, October, including basketball and golf and hiking and, just healing on such a physical level, but also healing from a mental, a emotional, and a spiritual level of what has been encountered. So don't deny the triggers, accept them, say, how are these lessons improving you? How are they ascending you? How are they transforming you? And recognize these energies, talk to them and say, I recognize that you're trying to teach me here. I'm going to acknowledge it and let it go, right? And, and just, say thank you for reminding me. Thank you for that reminder. Thank you for reminding me of the truth of my existence. Right. And, this isn't my knowledge. This is knowledge that's been passed to me by people that have, either have a degree or have wisdom and share that wisdom with me. And I was just like, man, that is a diamond. Thank you for sharing that. And so I wrote it down, and I wanted to share that with you because somebody today needs to hear that. Thank you for reminding me of the pain. Thank you for reminding me of the lesson. And thank you for that reminder to help me understand the true existence, because to be existing in matter, to be existing in this crazy, chaotic world of ours, there is a lot of pain, but through that pain, there are truths. And it's the truth of your existence that you're here today. So all you have is today. There's no guarantees for tomorrow, and you can't go back and change the past. But our mindset is usually in one of those two aspects: future of what I didn't get accomplished, what I need to do, or what I should have done in the past. And just get rid of that BS. Move into your breath, move into the present moment, and say, thank you for that experience. Thank you for teaching me that and the truth of my own existence, my own reality based on the pain, right? And we are transitioning, we are transforming. I have transformed through ascension, through alchemy, through physical transformation, mental transformation, emotional transformation, spiritual transformation, all within this last year. Things that I never thought that would take place. And it's okay to have these feelings. Acknowledge your feelings, acknowledge them, accept them, let them go, move on, and then get ready for the next experience, because that's what life is. It's just a series of it's like baseball, right? I got my baseball, go Mariners. I got my baseball hat on because it's a series of pitches and how many swings and hits you get, right? And how many times you get around the base or how many times you strike out. It's the game of life, right? And it's okay to have these feelings. And as we evolve, release these feelings and go out into the world. Prospect for what's inside, prospect for what's all around you, both, again, what is seen and what is unseen. I always say there's 3 eyes in life: 2 to see, 1 to look. I'm sorry, 2 to look, 1 to see, because this is called the all-seeing eye, the pineal gland. I wrote down a couple notes to this. Faith and grace are very important in the journey. Give yourself, what is faith to you? What does, do you believe in the higher power? Some of you watching may, some of you may not. And that's that smorgasbord to lay out. I believe that there is a higher power. I believe that there is life after death based on being the work that I do as a spiritualist, as a medium. But I couldn't tell you exactly what God is. It's trying to put a label on something that is so much more grand and bigger than what we can explain. Or, as humans, we try to, claim to know everything. And as Plato reminds us, those that claim to know everything know nothing at all. But I know with my experiences, my education, my mentor, my ceremonies that I've been a part of, there is definitely something bigger than ourselves: the divine feminine, Father God, the great spiritual world, whatever you want to call it. And for those of you watching may not believe in that because you haven't had an experience that has changed you to believe in such a thing. And that's okay too. You just maybe, I had the experiences, what I call the TNT, the trauma and tragedy, at the age of 27 with the loss of my brothers and my father-in-law all at the same time. And it was very transformative to get me asking questions that included the naming of my company, the Intuitive Prospector. It's the name of my company, it's trademarked, but it's also a concept. It's about using your intuition to prospect for what's right for you in this world around us, and the experiences of what you want to grow in gain from wisdom. So, but give yourself, grace and patience along the way, because humans want it right now. We're really real time, on demand species with a big ego. I always say we're like the girl in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory wanting an Oompa Loompa, telling her daddy, who was filthy rich, I want an Oompa Loompa now. I want a golden egg now. And it ended up being, she wanted it so much and so bad, it ended up being to her demise, if you've seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But, the faith and grace in your new direction, to know that this is the time for you. It's like it's equating it to like climbing the mountain. When you first are at the base of the mountain and you look up, and I love hiking. I always say, when people ask what's my religion, I actually say my religion is nature. Getting out into the forest. And if you break the word down, it means for rest. And there are many times I've stood at the base. I'm here in Seattle, and we have some of the best hiking. People come from all around the world to hike our Cascades and Olympic mountains, right? I'm in between I literally sit between 2 mountain ranges: Cascades, that goes from Canada all the way to Mexico, and the Olympics, which are just across the bay here, which is one of the smallest mountain ranges in the world, but beautiful rainforest. And when you're sitting at the base of that mountain and you look up, it's quite intimidating. It's like, well, shit, hopefully I got the right equipment. Hopefully I got enough training and enough breath to get to that mountain. But what you start to realize is the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that single step, as Lao Tzu reminds us. And you just start hiking. You just start journeying, one foot in front of the other, and not really worrying about getting to the top, just making your ascension. But when you get to the top of that mountain, whether it's Mount Everest or you've done the 7 highest mountains in the world, you've done that whole adventure. When you get to the top, it's for a reason, right? And it's also for a different perspective, right? It's a perspective based on what you saw down below is a much different view than what you see above. And that's what I always laugh. We live in a reality today of, people still believe the world is flat. You get to the top of Mount Everest, you can literally see the curvature of the earth. If you've been flying at 30,000 feet, you can see the curvature of the earth. But it's just fascinating. I mean, of course, the reality of our universe, if we look out through a telescope, everything is round, everything is spherical, right? So it'd be quite uncomfortable that we would have, our solar system, which is based on round planets. You can just look at the moon, right? You can just use science on how the moon shadow casts and how we cast based on the sun through, astronomy and physics and science, that everything is round. But if we were the only flat piece in this whole system, that would be very awkward. That would be like, maybe we are living in reality. Maybe this whole construct is if we're flat. But it's just, that's reality we live in. Everybody has a different perspective. That's fine. But some is just based on truth and fact, and some is just based on gaslighting and cognitive dissonance, lies, misinformation, and bottom line, ignorance. And that's people. I've learned that I'm being taught that there are ignorant people here because it teaches us about how we can evolve as a species, and some will choose not to evolve but actually devolve. If you ever seen Cloud Atlas, there's a great perspective. The guy that plays Old Georgie, actually through his many lifetimes, actually devolves, and Tom Hanks actually starts off as a very mean, uncaring, kind of evil character, and he evolves to something bigger than himself. So Cloud Atlas is a great perspective of what evolution over many lifetimes of 500 years can look like, and what de-evolution looks like over 500 years based on our choices, our free will, and what we do in each life, if you believe in that, right? Reincarnation, which every religion around the world points to some aspect of reincarnation, which is interesting itself. But along the way, give yourself faith, give yourself grace. Getting to the top of the mountain, that's important. Whatever, the mountains of life, there's always a mountain to climb, as from a small baby to a teenager, to a young adult, to a middle age, to an elderly, and to death, which death is one of the greatest aspects that we can do, because it moves you to the next journey, the next adventure. There is something important about getting to the top. Again, something we learn, something we grow, and it usually takes hard work, and that's fine. What we put in, we get out. Your perspective, the concept of the intuitive prospector. If I go to this mountain right behind me, if I went like this, I would probably have some great difficulties. I'd probably need some good clothing, some hydration, some food, some proper footwear, proper mindset, proper protection. If I wanted to get to the top where it's snowy and and it could take that doesn't look like much. That could take days to get to the top. But when I get to the top and I've prepared right, and I've done the right things, I can grow from that experience, and my perspective standing on the top of the mountain is going to be different than standing down here at the river or the pond lake that's at the base of it. So, it's a beautiful place is what I'm trying to say. It's a beautiful place to get to. And that's what faith is. That's what faith is your journey and believing in what is right for you. That is faith. And the last thing I'll leave you here, let's see here. A couple of you are commenting here. So Carrie says, I have PTSD, was in the hospital all winter with pneumonia and almost died. Now I have a tachycardia from it. So I'm just going to hold space for you, Carrie. I'm sorry that you're going through that. But that's why I haven't been really around on here. Glad to be back. Glad to have you back. And again, one day at a time, my friend, right? And the experiences, health-wise, I've gone through it as well. And I've seen other people in my life, and friends and family and colleagues and fur babies that go through these experiences. Acknowledge your PTSD. And in today's message is, don't deny your own triggers. Don't deny your PTSD, because then your PTSD grows. One of the things before my surgery, before I knew I needed surgery, I was in great pain. And that impacted my mental health. That impacted my relationship. It impacted my career. But I didn't know that my spine had literally collapsed on itself at the base, which is known as the L4, L5, until they actually got in there. They actually had me on the operating table and opened me up and were like, damn, he's fully collapsed. He's bone on bone. And they literally had to put in a 1/2-inch spacer filled with cadaver muscle and tissue. They literally had to hammer it in. Now, I'm still feeling the effects of that months later, but what it did is it lifted my spine and allowed my nerve root to open up, right? And that brought so much relief, right? And, that was hard to go through, but it's the pain. And, as Rumi talked about, the cure for the pain is the actual pain. And so I have to acknowledge that, and that's acceptance, right? So accept what I'm saying to you, Carrie, is accept your PTSD, because if you hold on to it, and you say, oh, I'm not working with my PTSD, or thank you, PTSD. I acknowledge you, and I'll move you forward, and I'll let that go. But acknowledge it. It helps you become healthier, mindset, emotional, physical, right? One of the examples is pre-surgery, because I was very, very overweight. I'll be honest. I'll be very transparent. I was over 300 pounds. And I'm just looking in the mirror like, this is not who I am. What the hell is going on? Well, I didn't want to work out. One, because every time I'd move, I was in pain. And two, if I'd work out, I couldn't walk for 2 days. And there was just no desire to work out because my spine was literally broken. It had collapsed. And so I got to all this weight, and I'm like, I don't even recognize myself. And that brings depression and PTSD and anxiety. And one of the things that I used to do is I really had a bad habit of biting and picking. And those are anxiety triggers. And, picking at yourself or biting your nails, and I still have to work at it. But now my nails are actually, my nails are doing pretty good because I'm not biting. I don't have that anxiety. And I've addressed that anxiety to say, you know what? Oh, stop biting. That's anxiety. Something, what's triggering you? Is it someone, something, or am I just feeling that way? So, become aware of your surroundings, become aware of who you are. Your auric field is what I'm saying. And don't deny your triggers, accept them, thank them, move them forward, right? And again, going back to what Rumi said, I didn't understand this concept of the cure for the pain is the actual pain. Some of you may have known and heard this from Rumi. I love Rumi, 12th century mystic and poet from what we know today is the part of the world of Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, that area. And when I first heard the concept years ago, when I started down my spiritual pathway, I didn't understand. You hear quotes and you hear gurus talk about, certain things. You're like, oh, okay, that sounds good. But you don't really absorb it. You don't really marinate with it until you're actually in the pain. And then you're like, that's what he was talking about. The cure for your pain is the actual pain of endurance and acceptance. It really is about acceptance at the end of the day. Accepting your pain, accepting being hammered in a 1/2-inch spacer and 4 screws and 2 titanium rods to fuse your spine together so you can get back to life, so you can lose weight, so you can have that desire to go work out again. I'm playing hoops now. I'm swimming. Going to start a little bit of golfing, weightlifting. I've lost almost 50 pounds. So I'm back to a weight that I haven't seen in years, but also through medical interventions and guidance through my naturopath, through my surgeons, through my mental health counselor, who have all assisted me this last 1.5 years to transform. And that's what transformation is. And you can go back and look at my old videos and see what I look like compared to what I look like today. And I hope to keep transforming. I hope to keep inspiring. I hope to keep motivating and encouraging you, because I've done that. And the cure for the pain is your actual pain, and accept that pain. Because if you don't accept it, that pain only grows, that pain only increases. Make sense, everybody? I hope so. So that's today's message. Don't deny your triggers, because if you do, you got a whole journey ahead of you that incorporates a lot of negative stuff. So good morning and thanks for sharing that with us, Carrie. Thanks for being open with that and just showing your humanity, showing we all have our vices and our crutches and our addictions, and and just sharing that. And that's what this community is about. So if you want to comment, please do, and I'll give you a shout out. Bernadette, hello to you. Diane, hello. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you. Carrie saying, I believe in a higher power. Yeah, whatever that higher power is for you. Carlos, good to see you. Nikki Jacobs, hello. The mountain meditation is my favorite. Yeah, I love the mountain meditation too. Hi, Lori. Maureen, good to see you. Emily, hello. Thanks, Carrie. It helped. It did help me. I was totally meant to be here today and hear all of this. Yes, you were. I knew somebody when I'm on Fridays. There's usually a message that resonates. That the coincidences, the synchronicities, which Einstein always said was God's way of remaining anonymous. Totally believe that, and somebody today needed to hear it. So, Carrie, I'm glad that you showed up. You're back, working through your health, and it was meant to be. So, you're welcome, Lisa. Hi, Nikki. Good morning to you. So we're going to get into the aspect now of hi, Elena. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I do want to say that after the summer, I will be doing probably a live on either Monday evening or Tuesday evening called Experience the Etheric. It's the spiritual ABCs of awareness and alchemy, breathing and blending, connection and consciousness. So it's kind of a twofold ABCs, and I'll be doing a live event through the Intuitive Prospector page. So again, make sure to subscribe. You can go to my events page here at marklainhart.com. I haven't done a lot of events because of my surgery and my recovery, but I will be back at the Conscious and Wellness Expo here at the Kent Commons, my booth. They held my booth because of my surgery. Will be in October. That's on my events page here. And then I'm going to start a evening, probably bi-weekly. I don't think I'll do it weekly or once a month. I haven't figured that part out yet. I'm kind of listening to the direction of the universe, but it's called Experience the Etheric. And it's a way to share with you my experiences. Maybe you want to connect with your loved ones. Maybe you want to connect with a fur baby, a friend, or a family member, teaching you how to do that. Things that I have learned from great teachers and mentors, studying, for well over a decade at the Arthur Findlay College, the Berkeley Psychic Institute, the Omega Institute, my own local experiences, and just sharing with you how to experience the etheric of what is seen and what is unseen based on who you are and where you're at in your journey. And again, it's all about the awareness and the alchemy, the blending and the balance of it, and of course the connection and the consciousness of it. And I call that the spiritual ABC. So make sure to subscribe so you can get on the newsletter or marklainhart.com for events. I'll get that plugged in, but that's going to probably start taking place in September is what I'm kind of feeling. September, October timeframe if you're interested in that. And there I will do a Facebook Live. And I may do a YouTube, I'm not sure, but you can always check my YouTube channel out, which has lots of different episodes and podcasts and information and prospecting, diamonds, right? So let's get to some readings. Whoa, camera just like, woo, what happened there? What happened? Why did my camera fog out? You all see that? That must be time. It must be time to work. I don't know why my camera just fogged out like that. I'm leaning in, Dad doing anything? I always try to do, oh, okay. Interesting. Can you do that one more time? Can you fade it? I won't move. What's interesting, and the reason I'm saying this is a lot of times when you work in the digital aspect, what we would call now the quantum, because we're working not in person, but digitally, we get a lot of phenomenon that will take place. Some of you may actually witness, you may actually see orbs. A lot of times people have talked about orbs that are behind me. Again, because I've raised my vibration and my experiences and my beliefs a big part of this, the between worlds, a lot of the digital aspects can capture different things like the camera, being funky and wonky, orbs. People have talked about seeing the mist behind me, just very interesting phenomenon. Nothing to be scared of, nothing to be, what you saw in a Hollywood movie. A great example, and then I'll get to the readings, I promise. Hi, Amy. Hi, Lena. Hi, Ricardo. Hi, Victoria. A lot of people tuned in today. Thanks for being here. I was just the other night watching the Sixth Sense I love the movies by M. Night Shyamalan. His last movies they've been okay, but his early movies, Signs, The Sixth Sense, The Village, he's created some very good storytelling in his movies. But I was just watching The Sixth Sense, and I got a perspective, and I saw something I hadn't seen before. And, as the little kid, when I became, through my trauma, I always say that trauma is a tragedy, triggered my vibration to increase and change my aspect of my reality of connecting to what is seen and what is unseen. In the movie, the little kid was scared to death because he would see people as they were making their transition, usually in a violent, very scary way, blood or throwing up or been shot in the back of the head. That would be very scary. But what he didn't know is he could tell the spirit world, and he was just a little boy. He didn't know that he could tell them that, can you present to me in a different way that doesn't scare the shit out of me? If I was that age and I was seeing that stuff and the temperature was dropping and there was, people walking around, based on how their transition had taken place, I would be scared to death too. But as I watched the movie, and you realize, if you have not seen the movie, go ahead and just plug your ears real quick, because I don't want to give something away. I don't want to be a spoiler. So this is your chance. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. In The Sixth Sense, you don't know that Bruce Willis, or at least Bruce Willis, doesn't know that he had died, right? He doesn't know. He was seeing the world from his perspective. And it's only at the end that he realized that he had died, but he was still using his counseling, his guidance to help this little boy that was scared to death based on the connections that he was seeing. But in the story at the end, once the little boy stands up and he tells, Bruce Willis, I see dead people, he had the courage to start interacting with the people to help them, right? And that's where I was like, oh my gosh, that's what you're saying, because I didn't know what had happened, why things were happening to me, 2 decades ago. My brothers passed in, early 2000s. and I didn't understand it, and my vibration had changed. It's to help people, right? It's the spirit world coming back through a physical incarnate flesh communicator to, maybe say goodbye. They didn't get to say goodbye. I did readings in COVID. People didn't get to say goodbye during COVID-19. I just did a reading last week with a gentleman that wanted to hear from his stepdad and his mom about something he needed to hear. And I, even when I'm doing this, my analytical mind, my ego mind goes, is that real? Is that, is the, analysis of it, the human interactions of it, am I making this up, or is there something to it? And I found that there's something to this. But in the movie, once the little boy stepped into his own courage to say, you want me to help you, right? And if you've seen the movie, there was a girl she was presenting herself to him as very pale and puking, all this just green goo coming out, just yucky and scary. But when he had the courage to finally pull he had a makeshift tent, like a shrine to protect. And when he ran out, it fell over her. So she's just sitting there covered in this red blanket. And he has the courage to pull the blanket off. It gives me chills just talking about it. And he says, you want me to help you, yes? And in the long term, he does. He goes to the funeral for her, the wake, and there's a box under her bed as a videotape. And the mom was actually poisoning her with Drano. She put Drano and mixed it in. There's a videotape showing she's doing, like a little puppets. And then she moves it aside, and there's a camera that she records her mom putting the Drano in the soup and then feeding her the soup and telling her, Kira, I know you say that the soup tastes bad, but I need you to eat it. And so the mom actually poisoned the little girl and killed her. And the kid walks up and hands the videotape to the father, who can see is just distraught, just destroyed. Now he's going to be even further destroyed because the truth came out based on the mediumship of it. But the one thing I caught in the movie, and I've seen this movie a million times, I just haven't seen it in a couple of years. There's an aspect at the end where him and his mom are in a traffic. They're in traffic and it's just blocked because there's a bicyclist that was hit and killed. And the little boy tells his mom, finally, I'm ready to communicate with you and tell you my secret. And somebody died up there, mom. And she's like, oh, she's looking out the car. Like she wants to see, can you see that from your angle? And he's like, no, she's standing right next to the window. And you see the bicyclist with her helmet, blood running down, scary, but that's how she just transitioned. And I'm sure over time, he could tell the spirit world, please present in a way that doesn't scare the shit out of me. But when he's telling her, he starts to talk about his grandma, her mom. And I don't know if this is planted or if this just is, if M. Night Shyamalan did this, but I've seen this movie a lot of times, but I actually had to pause it and go back and pause it. There's a point where the little boy tells the mom that grandma had a favorite butterfly pendant that kept getting moved. And the mom thought the little boy was doing it. He's like, I'm not moving it. I didn't touch it. And she'd get mad and ground and be like, go to bed, no dinner, you're lying, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I'm not doing this. Grandma loved that pendant. She knew you loved that pendant. And it was called the bumblebee pendant. And at that point, if you look off her shoulder through the window, you can see what looks like a yellow butterfly or bumblebee, and it goes right by the window and shoots, and it literally shoots down behind the car. And I had to pause it. So if you don't believe me, go watch it and say, was that just a leaf blowing, or was that intentionally to show the spirit world at the time he's saying it? He loved you, or she saw you dance, and he started giving the message to where you could not deny the evidence of life after death. But I saw that movie and I was just like, wow, that's a pretty, if that was done intentionally, brilliant, well done, nice Easter egg, or it just so happened to be a coincidence. I will never know unless M. Night Shyamalan, comes on my podcast and we talk about it and he tells me that. But it was very cool. But what it did for me is it shows that the work that I do, regardless of the judgments, the opinions, the critics, people's personal opinions about what I do, it's about being in service. It's about helping and connecting what is seen of the unseen world and the etheric spiritual world to the physical world. And I had a hard time dealing with that, but now I love doing it. So thought I'd just share that with you. So hi, love that movie. Yeah, Nikki, I'm with you. Hi, Miss C. Are you back over across the pond? Hi, Victoria. Ricardo, hello. All right, so sorry, I digress. I'll get back to, now we'll do readings. Let me get the link if you want to come into the Zoom room. And I'll kind of explain how this works in the digital aspect, in the digital transformation, the quantum level of what we're doing. Let me get over to Facebook Live here. Make sure the volume is down. Marc. And again, thank you to my administrators, moderators, keeping the comments, clean. I don't get to see all the comments as they're streaming live, but there are people watching. So let's keep the community. That's not what I want. What the heck is EWTN? I don't know what that is. I clicked on it. It's supposed to be into the Prospector Live. Let's see. Now playing. Let's get over there to the live feed. And what I'll do is I'll put the Zoom link in. So what happens is when I start to give readings, for those of you that are in the digital aspect, so obviously I made it. What happens is I'll take my book down. Again, you can get this book on Amazon. I'm working on my next book. It's not gonna be a sequel to this. It's gonna be my own memoir, talking about this with some exercise and tools. But this is called Between World Reflections, part of Best American Psychics. That's my professional directory that I'm a part of. I've been a part of for years. Have been tested, have been validated, and so I contribute as an author. But what we'll do is we'll move into. I've got 14 different decks to work with. Book readings. I can pick a book reading. You can come in live on the Zoom room if you want to have a chat, which I highly encourage because some cool things can unfold and people can watch that. I'll put the Zoom link in. Look for my avatar. Today's avatar with the link will be, let's just do a little hello. There's a little avatar of me saying hello. All right, send that. See if that worked. Again, if you want to be a star sender and help contribute to my coffee fund, that's great. You can visit me at marclainhart.com. But what we're going to do is, if you ask a question, tell me what deck number you want, 1 through 14. Ask if you want a book reading, if you just want my intuition. If you want to come in live to the Zoom room, the link is posting. It says it's posting. It should come out. If my moderators or administrators, if the administrators could grab that, if anybody wants to come in, that would be great. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. So hi, Charlotte. Good to see you. All right, Elena, one of my followers, and I can see because you have a badge next to your name. If you don't have that badge, the best way to get the badge is interact, contribute, share, become a subscriber, that kind of thing. Star sender, all of that. So Elena, let's get you. May I get a card from deck 10? Yes. So we'll count decks, 14 decks, all given to me or gifted to me over time. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So Elena, if you know how this works, we're going to work now in the digital quantum aspect of reading. So what I'm going to do is I'll shuffle this deck, put the energy in, but you're going to choose based on free will and choice when to type in stop. So I'll be monitoring the comments when you type in stop. Victoria, you're on deck. Thank you for being here. When you hear the word stop in your mind, Elena, type it, hit enter, and that's a card I'll pick based on when I see it, because that's your now interaction, and it lets me know that you're still following and interacting with the show. Because some people come in and leave, and that's fine too. So we're just waiting on Elena to type in stop into the comment section, and that will be the card that you will get and we'll talk about. And then Victoria's on deck for an animal spirit card. Stop. Thank you, my friend. So for those of you that are new to the show or how we do this, again, it's now interacting. It's reading time. A couple ways to come in. You can also contact me at my number. I'll put it in the, I got your card. Hold on. I've got my business line now, so you can call me via phone 206-580-661. Look for the avatar. What's it called? Oh, well, there's an actual avatar that says hello with a phone. So my business line I'll put out there as well. So that's posting right now. All right, so here's a card for Elena. Thanks for interacting. It's the stop card. The stop card, the master card. I was looking at your comment. Stop, sorry. The master card. Okay, so the master card is all about the heart right now. Something, the color of green is actually tied to the heart chakra. Something is in your heart is being caged up, being blocked, and being compressed. The number 1 and 5 from numerology, the 1 is your independence, and your 5 is about freedom, love, and adventure. And 1 + 5 equals 6. And in numerology, that's all about compassion for self, compassion for the world, and compassion for others. So you need to master your heartstrings and not be confined in your heart matters, is what this card represents. Okay. Does that make sense, Elena? And please put in your comments if it makes sense. I also have, do I have the dowsing rod? I do. If you want rods or pendant, I've also pulled out as part of this out of my spiritual toolbox, and I've got somebody that came in the waiting room. I'll get to you, so just bear with me, be patient, because we got Victoria on deck for a Spirit Totem Animal card. We also have the dowsing rod, which if you've never seen these work, these are quite interesting. A lot of times in the past, they were used for wine and for water to plant vineyards for wine. Peter Modavi actually was known in the California area for using dowsing rods. So they're very sensitive to electricity and to water. So we can ask a question based on the dowsing rods and or the pennant, which is a crystal wrapped in copper, which is very sensitive. And we can ask questions that way as well. So I have some tools, different tools for they actually attract to each other, right? Actually, see. So you can ask for the dowsing rod, you can call me, you can Zoom room, or you can pick a deck. All right, so yes, makes sense, thank you, you're welcome. All right, Victoria, so animal deck for you. So Victoria, you're on deck. We're in the reading section now. So if you have a question, want to send some stars, want to subscribe, this is the time to do it. Hi, Antonio. All right, so Victoria, you know the deal. I'm shuffling on my end. When you hear the word stop on your end, type it in, hit enter, and that's the card that we will talk about as I'm shuffling. And that's how we work at the quantum level, the digital aspect level. So this is for Victoria. Again, you can call me. You can come into the Zoom room. If you call me, I may have to put you on hold, so be patient, depending on if, based on the cue, based on the rotation. So Victoria, Victoria, Victoria. Shuffling through the deck. Stop. Thank you, my friend. Here's your card. We'll talk about it. This is a beautiful deck. I actually have a couple totem animal cards. So this is called the Barn Owl. So this is about listen for spirit, the Barn Owl. Now, again, another matter of the heart. You can see the heart right here. So the previous card was about mastering the heart, but the owl is all about wisdom, right? And it's also, see how it's burning some, like it's got a scroll here. So this is about information that can come based on the lighting of the candles. Information is always available to us. And sometimes it's not information that you think it's going to be based on the delivery of a phone or an email. The information can be downloaded in your mind through the power of meditation, through the power of yoga, through the power of qigong, through the power of chanting, through the power of sound baths, right? So you need to connect to the heart matters and listen for spirit with this barn owl. Or you may actually see, what I love about doing this, Victoria, is I always teach on the signs, the symbols, the synergy, which is the energy of who we are and the energy that's around us, and the synchronicities. You may actually see an owl. You may actually see in your world an actual barn owl. You can see it on TV. You may see it in an email. I'll share with you just how the reality of the signs work. After I got done watching The Sixth Sense, I'm not kidding you, I kind of sat there pondering the message that the download that I received based on the movie I've seen a million times. And what I did is I got on social media and I opened my phone, and this was literally the picture that was sent to me. I then turned it into the Intuitive Prospector, but it says, "You have more impact than you know." And I was just like, holy crap. Thank you, Matrix. Thank you, universe. Thank you for that synchronicity, that synergy, and that reminder. And that's also a reminder to all of you that you have more impact than you realize. So Victoria, pay attention to the signs, the symbols, the synergy, and the synchronicities of the barn owl. And again, matters related to heart and some information that's going to be delivered, but be very open to how that information is going to be delivered. It can come literally with a barn owl dropping a scroll, or it could be something that you receive in your clairvoyance or through a dream or through meditation, right? So, okay. So Louise, hello to you. I was wondering what it means if you have a dragon for a spirit guide. That's a good question. Watching House of the Dragon, so I love that show. I don't know if I know, what I'd say for you, Carrie, I'll look it up. I've got a great book. He was a guest on my show years ago, Dr. Stephen Farmer. It's literally falling apart. I have to take the pages. Let's see if there's a dragon in there. I don't know that answer, but what I would say for you, what is your aspect of dragon? What does it feel? So there's a dragon page, and you can see that it's taped because it's fallen out. But what does it mean to you, Carrie, to have a dragon for a totem animal? Right? I'll read here, and we can see if that matches up. But just type in the comments. Let's do some synchronicities. type in the comments, Carrie, what you feel a dragon is to you, and then I'll read the actual excerpts of what the dragon is in the book. What's interesting in group, on my development group, I received on Wednesday a totem animal spirit I've never had before, and it was a cricket. And I was like, I've never had a cricket download for my totem animal spirit, because we were doing some exercises. And one of my senior members, who was awesome, she was leading us, and she asked, what was your totem animal? And I was like, well, it was a cricket. It was like Jimmy the Cricket, right, from the Disney cartoons. And you look it up, and you can look it up too. We have the power of the internet and Google. It talked about great wealth and transformation coming. And so for you, Carrie, I love that show too. It feels like it's for protection. Okay, so let's see what that is. If the dragon shows up, you're emerging into a new phase of your life, one where you'll be taking more risks and be more vulnerable, yet you will be well protected. Right? There you go. Well protected. It says it right there. Well protected. Do more of the kind of activities that bring passion into your life. So I'll just leave it at that, because you had said, I feel like it's protection. So feeling versus thinking is very, very powerful. We are connected. We call it the assholes of the yin and the yang. The assholes of the yin and yang. The mind versus the heart, or the heart versus the brain, or the brain versus the heart. So a lot of times feeling is going to take place down here. You felt like it was protection, so you're protected, but it's also encouraging you to take some action and do some stuff, some soul adventures, leaps of faith. Don't risk it, no biscuit kind of things, knowing that you'll be protected. But then the analytical thought brain gets in and goes, oh, you can't do that, you're not good enough, or you're not confident enough. That self-sabotage kind of bullshit. Don't give into that. Move down into the feeling. Also, the feeling moves down here into the lower belly here. Let's see if I can bend back. Oh, that's a good stretch on my low back. Oh, that feels good. Because that's claircognizance. That's a sense of knowing something. So you're right on. That's your intuition. You're trusting your intuition. Now follow it. You've received the message. And I always tell you, if you've worked with me or followed me or have had a reading with me, some of the best evidence comes after the reading. Some of the best experiences come after the message that's delivered. So well done, my friend. Well done. Hi, Diana. Nikki says, yep, dragons are protection. So there you go. Confirmation. That's perfect. Hi, Ivan. Okay, so any more questions? Again, everything's open. Phone line's open. Zoom room's open. Cards are open. Books are open. Dowsing rods are open. Pendulets open. It's all open now. What do you want? For your Friday. And again, my YouTube is now launched. If you want to go over to YouTube, I'll put that link. Let me get over there real quick. I'll put my events page in if you're curious. I just updated my website at marklainhart.com and put in some new, some of my insight timers, meditation for self-healing, holding space during dark and difficult times, beating anxiety, the journey of spirit. I'll try to get my insight timer. Like I said, I've been having so many moving parts. I haven't been able to do a lot of stuff since this surgery. But now that I'm semi-retired, I will have a lot more time to do stuff. You get on my newsletter. So I'll put in the link into the Facebook page for my events page, and you want to become a subscriber, how to stay in touch, all of that good stuff. That. If you want to get on my Patreon subscribers page or my Diamonds Hub, I'll put those links in as well. All right, so I'll just hang out, see if there's any more questions on this Friday. I hope you're having a great Friday. I really do. I hope that you're happy, healthy, and in harmony. How's that? Prospector. Maybe not. So my other show is premiering right now over on my YouTube channel. If you want to check that out. And again, thank you to all the subscribers. Like I said, pre-surgery, we were less than 500 subscribers, and the universe working in alignment has taken us now well over 20,000 subscribers, almost 21,000 subscribers. So that's been amazing to watch. And again, there's a lot of past shows. with that. Okay, so we've got a call coming in. Let's see here. Make sure it's not a spam call.
One planet,
Well,
7.3 billion people,
hold on.
only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you?
Sorry about that. My YouTube queued up on its own. Hello, who am I talking with?
Hi, this is Nikki Jacobs.
Hey, Nikki, let me put you up by the speaker here. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I would love a card, please.
Okay, and what number would you like?
Yeah.
Which one?
6.
6. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So we got a crystal card for you, or a crystal deck. So you chose the crystals. And what I love about the crystals is they're great amplifiers, right? They're great for enhancing or downloading. Think of it like a musical instrument, right? I've got my guitar behind me, and if you plug that into an amplifier, the guitar sounds louder, better. So what I want you to do, Nikki, is just say stop. I'm going to shuffle the deck here. If you see me on video, got the crystal deck, and just when you hear the word stop in your mind, say it out loud, and we'll talk about that crystal and what you need for your journey.
Now, stop.
Stop. Okay. So I'm seeing your comment here. The Zoom link wasn't working for you, huh? Sorry about that.
No, I'm on an old phone, so I have no idea if I can give you the phone.
Okay. Well, now we can go old school with the phone. And you got to remember we're in retrograde right now too. So Mercury retrograde, I have found in doing lives and radio shows for over 8 years now. When we go into retrograde, technology is completely impacted. So that's not surprising to me that the Zoom link is not working. So if you look on the video, you're on the video, we've got Argonite. And so this is about finding your center. This is a crystal, kind of looks like almost like a heart. I don't know if you're on video, if you can see the video, but it kind of reminds me of a heart, a little bit. But what it is, so that's the actual name of it. Have you worked with this stone before, this crystal?
Argonite? No.
Okay. So what it says here is it's a iron painted flowers forged by teeny hammers. Argonite forms in a geometric burst called star cluster. So if you can see it kind of like a star cluster, or it reminds me of a heart. It also occurs on stony corals and in the shells of most muscles, protecting the squishy and fishy insides. What it is who needs it? Anyone feeling out of alignment, in need of a major reset. So how does that make you feel when you hear that? In need of a major reset?
That works. That's a lot that's going on in my life right now, so that actually that works. But it reminded me of my childhood. When I was in 5th grade, we were asked to do a report, and it was strange because I was drawn to mollusks, and I couldn't figure out why. And I did a whole artistic drawing. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So, and a lot had changed in my life at that time. So That is interesting to me. But that's the first thing I thought of. But the next thing I think of is right now. Sorry, I'm a talker. So
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, there's a lot of change going on.
Yeah, and that's
a lot of change that's coming.
Yeah, and if you can have that mindset, kind of what I was talking about with the message of don't deny the trigger, just know that life is constantly changing, right? The only thing consistent in life is the changes that we go through, right? And it's usually when we get into those expectations of what we think it's going to be, it usually leads us to that self-disappointment. So this Argonite, and definitely check it out, it talks about where to put it, especially if you meditate or have a meditation cushion. Put this adjacent to either your pillow when you sleep or a meditation cushion. It also says when to use it when it's time to retreat into your shell. And it's interesting that your childhood flashback to the mollusk is interesting. So I would even look at that, the mollusk shell. And it also says, or step out of it. If you want to be square with the outside world, first you've got to get square with your inside world. Call on Argonaut to help set a healthy, sustainable balance. So this is all about being in the shell, knowing when to step out of the shell and finding balance in your journey. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense with everything that's going on. Thank
all right. You're welcome. Remember, along the way, just breathe.
I know who that came from and where it came from. Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. You have a great weekend, okay?
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
again, thanks, Nikki, for calling. Again, you can call in. The Zoom should be working, but I will put that caveat. It is Mercury retrograde until August, early August, I think August 4th. So just be patient if that's not working. But the Zoom room is open. You want to come in and ask me a question? You can ask me anything. It doesn't even have to be psychic or spiritual or metaphysical or mediumship. It could be something just based on life. I'm here to help. I'm here to be in service to you on Fridays. Victoria, you're very welcome. Sending love to everyone this weekend. Yeah, have a fabulous weekend. So again, I'll put the links in. I was trying to open up the YouTube channel and put a link in for you, and then the video, it just automatically queues, so I apologize for that. That's my promo video for the YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel's in there, Patreon Prospectors. Let's get to that, my page. All right, but the best one stop for everything spiritual, metaphysical, healing, mediumship, psychic is just marklainhart.com right here, or just type in Intuitive Prospector and I will pop up. All right, so all the links are there to help you on your journey. YouTube, Patreon, close all those out. So you're welcome, Nikki. Thanks for calling in. Again, you can call in 206-588-0661. That is my business line. If you'd like to come in, you're more than welcome. Zoom room. Close YouTube channel out. All right. I'll start queuing up a song. That's a good song to close this out here. What about God Bless America? We opened up with Hiking, which was by the artist. All my music, by the way, is copyright, royalty free, approved by Meta. The song opening was called Hiking by Sleeping Lion. Maybe we'll close with Make It Your Moment by Jenna Bell. So I always like to give the artist name. So if you want to, go research and grab this information off Spotify or, Meta. Mine's called the Meta Sound Collection. That's where I get all of my music for, all of my shows, Inspired Living, my YouTube shows, Facebook Live. They're all copyright. I use music that is trademark free, royalty free, copyright free. Sometimes YouTube will be a copyright, but they'll still publish my video because that person is getting acknowledged for their music, which they should. And I try to acknowledge people. So today's opening song was called Hiking by Sleeping Lion. And I think we'll close with Make It Your Moment by Jenna Bell if there is no more questions for today or any live readings. Again, I will be doing something in the fall that I'm preparing for called this Experience the Etheric, which will be live readings, most likely mediumship, and then also tutorials on how to become aware, your alchemy of who you are, blending, balance of how you're doing this, and connecting in consciousness of connecting to something bigger than yourself. You're connecting to your friends, your family, your fur babies. Because again, I always remind people ask me, where is heaven, Mark? Because we're on a round planet, so metaphysically you can't go up or down. There is no up or down. And I always remind them that heaven isn't a location, heaven's a vibration. So just if you can remember that. So last call for any kind of connections or encouragements or motivations or thinking outside the box. And if not, we will cue up the music and have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for being here. Again, thanks to the star senders. Thank you to the subscribers. You make the community go. I show up and hold the space for you. It really is what, Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live on Friday is all about. Creating space, holding space, setting intentions, and, helping you to, help focus on whatever your reality is. So, okay, not seeing any other questions coming in. Again, thank you to my team. Keep an eye, I haven't seen a lot of spam anymore coming in, or troll bots, or people like, come to my page for more accurate reading. So I appreciate the moderators and keeping the community positive and uplifting and inspiring. All right, last call. Last call for readings. Call, Zoom, comment. All right, there's your sign. All right, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a fabulous weekend. I hope you're enjoying your summer. Try to observe, not absorb. There's a lot going on in our world, more to come. The great transformation of our roaring 20s, which I have forecasted, podcasted about for several years now. There's going to be even some more during Mercury retrograde, especially here in the United States. So buckle up. But again, try to observe it. Don't absorb it is what I'd recommend. Follow the Buddha. Let that shit go. We are humans, right? So, do your best. Try to always focus on the good that's coming your way, not the negative. And until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. Most importantly, wherever you're at in this world, whatever's going on, I always just advise you, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. And I hope that you'll discover that diamond within. And we'll see you next time here on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Live. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Namaste.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the intuitive prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream. Dare to explore. Dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.